Hey, it's just so Trish, and today is Mama Chat. So it's Tuesday Mama Chat, just a place for us mamas to hang out virtually and just kind of bring each other encouragement. For those of you that are getting on here afterwards, I just want to tell you that when I ask questions in the whole 9 yards, to go ahead and answer those questions and leave them in the comments because I'd like to hear from you too, and I will get back with you. So today we're going to talk about being exhausted, too exhausted to mama. And I've dealt with this to an extreme amount. Being pregnant, I have 6 children, and I'm going to be 10 about serious. I'm tired right now. I'm not going to lie. All right, so I can, like, right here, there's like this smudge mark, isn't there? Is it just me? It's not me. I'm cleaning this with my, with the sleeve of my shirt because that's the way I roll. All right, let's see. All right, that looks better. Oh, that looks so much better. I hope y'all are fine. Whew, there we go. So I had a better view before. Chaos and Grace says, you're speaking to my heart today, Trish. I'm so exhausted and pretty positive it's adrenal fatigue from high doses of steroids for 6 weeks. Wow. There's my girlfriend, my sweet thing, Carrie. She says, hey, sweet mama. Claudia says, I made it live. Woohoo. Yes, I'm so happy you're here. Twins at heart and family say, hello, Trish. I feel like this all the time. And she laughs. I will tell you, and hopefully we don't have interruptions. I can hear my kids laughing in there. So I want to tell you a little story about my exhaustion and with having babies. So this is the exhaustion, not necessarily right now today, but this is exhaustion over the last 13 years. I'm going to tell you there was times, and I was talking to a girlfriend about it today. I was like, hey, do you remember when I was really tired? I mean, like really tired, I couldn't leave my house. I would be so exhausted. The idea of putting my children in the van to go, and granted at the time I had 3 kids, maybe 4, was so much. I wouldn't do things. There's a lot of stuff I just would not participate in. And I hated having to leave the house. I was so exhausted. I remember one time I was with a friend and we had gone and done a park day, and it was like, hey, let's run into Sam's. Now she had 1 little kid at the time and I had 3. And I remember I had one, Lottie. It was Lottie. She was in the carrier. I had her in the shopping cart. I had Bubba next to her because you do the 2. And I literally got to the door, and I was just like, I can't do this. I am so tired. I can't. And I literally looked at my friend and I'm like, I'm gonna go home and I hope I make it home. I would be so tired that I would literally not be able to function in public, and then I'd put them in the car and drive, and I was so, like, to stay attentive. I haven't been that way in a long time, but to stay attentive while driving was even hard. I would be so exhausted. I mean, the just mere obstacle leaving the house was so overwhelming. It was beyond belief. So Stacy G made it in. She says, hello, Trish. Hope you're doing good. I am doing better. Tanya says, hey, girls. Mariah's here. She said, perfect subject for today. Claudia says, hey, Tanya. Tanya says, I have fibromyalgia. Makes me that tired. I mean, I would be so tired. The idea of lifting my hands up, my arms up, my body up was beyond the ability. It was physically just impossible. Refill with the word of God, girl. Amen to that. Totally understand. Off and on for 12 years. Don says, hi. Perfect Chaotic Ness says, hi. Crystal's here. Chaos and Grace says she has fibromyalgia too. Tatiana's in. Girl, we're going to catch up soon. I know. She says, hello, Trish. Same here. I've been in bed all day today. We had spring break last week, and it's so hard to get going in school. And Green Gables has made it. I still, so then, and I'll have to tell you, life was really slow. And now I look back and I really treasure those days of just being at home, and we didn't do much and we didn't get much. I really, even though I was like ready to go do more. And I'm going to tell you, I still get that kind of tired. Like grocery shopping. My husband would be like, go grocery shop at night. And I'm like, I'm done. I just can't. If I don't get it done in the morning, I'm done. And to be honest, I'm really done by noon, by 10, 11 o'clock. If I haven't gotten the most done, then I'm done. Crystal says, I'm out of energy as well, but chugging along. Chaos and Grace says, by the way, Trish, we're coming to Florida in 3 weeks. Where are you going to? Are you coming to my part of the woods? You should see me. I'm good for a library date, as Megan would say. Our Mary, hello. So I'm going to tell you, when I was doing Trim Healthy Mama, and I will tell you, it gets really bad when I'm pregnant. If I'm pregnant, I am not functioning. And the sad part is, after having the baby, I'm still not functioning for quite a while. It takes longer, and the older I've gotten, and the more years it's gotten, it takes longer. I can tell you, if I have a big event, I will crash and not function. It takes me a long time to recover, and it can put me out really bad, which has been one of my favorite things about homeschooling, because, you're staying in Inverness. That's right. That's like 3.5 hours, 4 hours. I'm going to lose my train of thought. Don't do it. So anyways, I don't function. I don't recover very well. So when I was doing THM, I was reading about adrenal fatigue and the whole 9 yards. And I'm just like, I don't know if this would be enough to justify adrenal fatigue. And I'm going to tell you, I've come back to revisit that conversation with myself. And I need to get it's a DO, not an MD. I need a DO doctor. Have you seen that degree of, I don't know how to say it, but I was looking it up, and it's about a doctor that just they deal with your whole body, and not just oh, you have an ailment, let's fix that, So I started looking at adrenal fatigue, because it hit me in the last few weeks as I'm brewing my kombucha with my dissolving. I got these, I couldn't remember. Okay, so side note, let's just take a rabbit trail. These are those canning labels that's peeling off. I got them because they dissolve off, but I got them because I've been brewing kombucha. I have a 2-gallon continuous brew that I take off about every 4 to 5 days. I take about half of it down, and I've been making different flavored kombucha. Some of them are just phenomenal, and I'm like, I don't remember what I put in them. So I decided to put the labels on them so I know what I'm brewing and when I brewed it. So, and I actually have a second continuous system that I am setting up for somebody. And so I had to put a Q there for their last name. So I put some of them are a Q because it came out of their batch. I don't know. Anyways. So I don't know. Sorry. That was a rabbit trail in its own. Chaos says, I want to take the hubby to the Keys if we have time, so maybe on the way back. Oh, that would be awesome, because you could definitely stop by and see me on the way back. I have a DO. He's awesome. He listens and really supports natural methods. Right? See, and that's what I want. I suffer from adrenal insufficiency. Today is a bad day. Try to trudge on. I feel your pain. So there's my girlfriend, Lori. Lori, I started the kefir. So we did a video because it was in the middle of this crazy town, whatever. It's been crazy here because I've had sick kids. And I started the water kefir. So I did the sugar, what was it? Half a cup of sugar to a quart of water, and dissolved the sugar, got it all the right weight. And then I stuck the grains in, and from what I read, I need to wait 3 days. But that's as far as I know to go. But I'm going to get with you. Okay, so Lori says, I'm having my Trim Healthy Mama energizing lunch to be good to my adrenals. Lived for 17 years on a low carb, and that was not good for my thyroid and adrenals. Dawn says, you need to do a video on doing kombucha. Just started making my SCOBY. Yay! And what's fun is when you bottle up your second ferments, and you're I was drinking, I'm like, oh, I was growing a SCOBY and I didn't know it. It's fine though. It's not disgusting or anything. I need to. I've been trying to like do a lot of different different videos. So I will say I'm so glad for you guys that are joining me for lunch. What are you eating? This is my 3 slices of bacon and my leftover cabbage. So I had some cabbage the other night, and that's kind of what I needed today. And it's really good. It's kind of more like fried cabbage. So I'm proud of your fermented learning adventures. Thank you. It looks like a scientific like madhouse in my kitchen, but we're getting there. So one of the things I've really noticed lately is, now, number one, this has been happening for like the last year anyways. And I'm not quite sure if it's, hitting 40 or not, but it was just I did today. I got home from getting the kids from pre-K, and I just want to I went and laid down at 12:30, and I laid there till 1:40, about 30 minutes ago, and I started getting myself moving. I know I have there's some bacon at the bottom, but I was running out of bacon, and I really wanted eggs, and the kids ate all the eggs on me because Lori just asked if I could get a little more protein in there in my cabbage meal, just a bit. Otherwise, that's a good S fuel. Leftover fried rice, yum. Taquitos, and then I've been trying to ferment, and you've seen on Instagram, I did a 1/2 gallon of salsa in an old pickle jar. It lasted 3 days. We couldn't get it to ferment. They ate it all. They ate it before I could get to it. I was like, man. So one of the hard things I have about the exhaustion is it makes me depressed. I don't know if any of you deal with that. It makes me really depressed. And I have a hard time dealing with it because there's a lot that I want to do. And I'm a very high energy person. And so when I can't just do things, I can't do anything. And that really rides hard on me, and that becomes really hard to handle. I already had a milk kefir right before I had this. So maybe, there you go. I had a milk kefir. So that gets my protein up. And dealing with that exhaustion. So as I'm getting older, and I'm now really looking back at the last 13 years of just the exhaustion kicking in and just having that hard time to do things. I'm going to tell you, I've been pushing through it for years, which is probably not the right way to handle it. So what I run into is, like tonight we have 4-H, and all the work I have to do to get it together, and I'm already tired. I just don't want to do it, but I know I need to do it. So I'll just push through and do it. And so I'm always showing up for the events, but I know I'm not giving my best because I'm so tired. Tanya says, been depressed all week since my trip to West Virginia to visit family. Now, do you run into, and that's the other part too I'll run into, and this kind of happened after my birthday. So this was kind of the combination of my birthday. So I was a hot mess, obviously, and I had my life disappointments. But I'm going to let you in on a secret about the whole thing. Up until the moment to leave for my birthday party, I was in bed so tired. Now, I had pulled in at 2 a.m. that morning, and I slept in late, and then I was just so tired. I laid down, and if I didn't have to go, if it wouldn't have been my birthday, I wouldn't have shown up. I was that tired, which, what about chronic fatigue syndrome? Well, I don't know nothing about that. I haven't got my certification on Pinterest on that sucker. I've just been certified on kombucha. And this one's mango. I just take the frozen mango chunks. That's frozen mango at the bottom. It fermented for a day. Anyway, so let's see. Twins say Twins at Heart says, I deal with the other issues and depression on every day, but sometimes I just have to do something helps me. You know, and I was thinking about it as I've been like going through this, I'm like, you know, maybe I do seriously have adrenal fatigue, and maybe I've always had adrenal fatigue and stuff. But I would tell you, if I could go back to my old self 10 years ago and say, listen, you are going through something, absolutely, you've got to go to the doctor. You've got to go get help. I literally would tell you that's too much work. And I had that, like I put off a dentist appointment because I was pregnant and I was tired. And it was just too much work. And to get somebody to come help me was too much work. And oh, Zap TV's in the house. Yay. Sorry for shaking you. And it was too much. Even to just take care of myself, it was too much. It was just like, hey, I fed the kids, got some laundry done. I laid on the couch. And we all lived. We all lived today. That was all I had in me. And, you know, that's the hard part. That's really scary. And then, you know, then I'd toss and turn and not sleep all night, you know, kind of make me crazy. Are you taking care of your sleep needs? I know it's hard to get to bed early when it's tempting to stay up and enjoy the quiet night, but before midnight hours are powerful. I typically do. I had my first one Sunday night. I stayed up till 2, which is not typical anymore. And that was the thing too, is I would stay up all night long when the kids were little because, you know, it was quiet. In fact, I have a blog from all those adventures called Midnight Crafters. It's midnightcrafters.blogspot.com. You could really see some of my like long ago kind of things I was doing before I did YouTube. And I'd stay up all night because it was like the only time, and then I'd be drained, and it just would be this vicious cycle. Tanya says, I've been able to ward off a lot of problems with fibro learning about the triggers. Yep. Zap says, homeschooling and giving time out while listening to your stream. Oh, very nice. So I feel like here lately I've been having some flare-ups of just being exhausted and not like really being just like all there. Erin's in the house, my sweet, sweet friend. I hope I'm seeing you in May at the homeschool convention. Girl, please. I hope I see you, girl. I can't wait to hug your neck. Again, I just absolutely love Erin. I'm going through something similar. I've been decluttering my house to try and give myself a push. I think my clutter, lack of routine, lack of sleep are all causing me to be exhausted. Yes, you know, and I had somebody come over because, you know, I don't let too many people in my like little world in here. And I let somebody in because I'm just like, this is what I'm dealing with. And they're just like, you got to declutter. And I'm like, I don't want to declutter. It's, you know, that's a mountain in itself. You know, it's ADHD. I'm going to procrastinate on the things that seem too hard. And so I did. I started Sunday. I started actually attacking the laundry. I've taken 3 huge garbage bags to Goodwill. That's just where I donate my clothes. It's convenient. It's easy. I know. But 3 huge bags. I had to get them out before my husband saw them because he was not going to he would not let me get rid of them. He would be like, we need to keep that. Somebody might need them, like, make it go away. It's been amazing. My kids have just been like, yes, thank you, Mom. Thank you for getting this out. And that has been amazing, you know, because they're just like, I'm still not done with all that laundry. Oh, wait. Oh, y'all are getting chatty. I got to get back up there. Some days, Trish, just keep everyone alive is going to happen. But be gentle with yourself, talk encouragement to yourself. And I do. I'm really good about keeping myself going. And, you know, and sometimes it's just trying to keep up with my old self over my new self. Tanya says, I'd love to see you girls at a convention, but I'm in Virginia. I know. In Florida's kind of like all the way down here. Erin says, I actually signed up for Teach Them Diligently in April. I need a conference so bad. I'm going to the first 2 days by yourself. Yeah, I feel bad. My kids really love the conventions, but man, I love the conventions without my kids. Mariah says, yes, clutter and lack of organization exhaust me. Lori says, congratulations on 3 bags. Yes. Green Gable says, I need to declutter my whole house. You go. Well, I only have 700 square feet. The benefit of a tiny house is it's, smaller, lots of stuff, but smaller. Zab says, hey, Tanya, so nice to participate in the stream again. Catherine says, random, but do you think the good and the beautiful looks too easy? Nothing. No, I don't think it does. The little bit I've looked at it, I've been impressed with it. I'm not going to do it, but it would be on the short list. I know I need to do a video. I'm going to do a video of like my short list for next year. Chaos and Grace says, I'm decluttering now. It's so hard to purge some areas, but man, it feels good when it's gone. It does. Erin says she's never gone to a conference alone. This will be her first time. It's so nice not having to like keep track of the little people that you're personally responsible for. I'm using it as a breather from the chaos. Girl, take me in spirit. Oh, I'd love to do it just like you and me for 3 days. I'd just be like, girl, brush off some of that knowledge on me. Green Gables says, including the basement, I have 6,000 square feet. You need some roommates? Worrying about the clutter exhausts me. Chaos and Grace says, we do the good and the beautiful and love it. I have a video on that. Yeah, go check out Chaos and Grace's video for that. What I like is, and I've told my kids, I said, it's like, one, I had to cut her clothing amount in half. It's just, I can't even come up with the right words. Astronomically amount of clothing for this one child. And I was just like, we don't have room for that. Heidi says, I can't tell you how many times I've driven to Goodwill with a full tank, with a trunk full to donate, and then gone in there and shopped. That's just it, and I'm realizing like I don't need to shop until, I think I'm going to do a new rule. I cannot buy any clothing until all the laundry's done, because then you can see what you have. And I was really like I had one kid, I was like, you have so many clothes, you don't need any clothes. And when I did the laundry and pulled out everything, I went and looked and I was like, she like doesn't have any clothes. And another one I thought had no clothes has more than I thought he had. And the other one I realized is like gone. I don't know where his clothes went. Dawn says, I think I'm coming to terms that I'm not. Okay. Emery says, working on a section at a time in my home is an easier way not to get so overwhelmed. That's what I'm doing. I am just doing the laundry right now, because we had like Mount Closemore is what we call it, because that's what my other large family friends called it. Mount Closemore was like in the kitchen back door. You couldn't use the back door. You had to climb out the back door. And if you opened the back door, there was a perfect line of all the levels. And it was like archaeology. It was an archaeologist would find. You can tell like what was going on when by going down the layers. Not good. And it's funny because like I got down to the bottom. Not all of them, because I still had a basket. Got to the bottom of the pile, swept the floor, moved the rug back, swept it. It is so nice. That floor looks beautiful without clothes on it. But I found some clothes I didn't know what happened to them. Well, they had been there for like 2 months. Just couldn't get down to the bottom of the pile. Aaron says, I thought good and beautiful looked heavy on language arts, strong on phonics. I'm not sure that the level 7 is enough for a high school student, though. Okay. That's just from glancing at it. Don says, not 20 something is hard. My energy isn't the same. 40 is not the new 30. 40 is 40. My body tells me so. That's true. I feel like timeout done. Back to grammar. We'll see you soon, Zap. Come back. I feel like my body's not as tolerant of abuse. Turning 40, my body's strong. But it's like, hey, don't mess with me. I feel like that's what my body is now. Like, don't mess with me. You start getting abusive, I'll shut you down. Like, quick, down. You're going to take a nap. Don't you go getting over the top thinking you're going to do this. Go take a nap. Go take a nap. I haven't been walking. My girlfriend and I, like, doing this whole preschool has really messed me up. Look, my curls are showing up. Anyways, doing the whole preschool stuff, It's really messed my time up. I haven't been walking with my friends, so I was walking. And, you know, I was watching Dr. Who's the doctor? Who's the doctor? He's the keto doctor, is what I would say. Anyways, I've been watching the videos about adrenals and dealing with your adrenals and how to heal them. Because I'm going to be honest, I think this is me and my husband are both on like adrenal fatigue, overstress, just the years of stress just accumulating in us, the whole 9 yards. And walking is supposed to be really, really, really good. Well, I haven't been walking, and I will tell you, my stress has been so high for so long. Chaos and Grace says, we're doing a separate writing curriculum to add to it. All right, so you're still on that. Y'all who are watching, if you want to know what they're talking about, it's the good and the beautiful, go over to Chaos and Grace. That's a YouTube channel, and it's her video on failures mid-year curriculum failures mid-year. So go, and if I remember, I will stick a link down there to Chaos and Grace's channel. Chaos and Grace, if I forget to do that and I don't get to that the next day, leave a comment after the show and remind them to go see you. All right. Aaron says, I'm going back to fresh milled wheat. I think I felt my best on it. All the store-bought bread is zapping my energy. Yes. Oh, yes, it's Dr. Berg. Thank you. I watched a little bit of Dr. Axe, but he kind of like, y'all don't laugh. He's really good looking, Dr. Axe. Dr. Berg's good looking, you know. He's good looking. They're both good looking. But Dr. Axe is very like GQ, macho, sexy. And I find him distracting. He's too good looking. He's so distracting. And he's all like, hey, you know, he kind of reminds me of the weightlifting jocks. Any of y'all have that problem? It's hard to listen to Dr. Axe. I'm just like, I'm not even that way though. I'm just a little bit like, my ADHD can't keep up with Dr. Axe. He's too good looking. And he knows it. Dr. Berg is a good looking man. But he doesn't come off with sex appeal. So it's, I don't know. And I hate to like use that. Like, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like I'm sharing some brain time with somebody of the same interests, not like the whole like, I've said too much and this is recorded. But some of y'all are laughing. You get it. You get it. Zap says something is in that stage in where he doesn't want to obey his parents or read instructions working habit program. Well, and Zap, you have gone through a major change. I mean, this year has been just crazy. I'm sure just trying to put balance into life and him trying to find the balance. For those that don't know, Zap was in Hurricane Irma, Hurricane something else, and Hurricane something else down there in Puerto Rico, no power, nothing. And now she's over in Texas. Now she's stateside. So lots of craziness. Kombucha is 2 points a bottle. No, it's not 2 points a bottle. It's 2 points a serving. This is like 3 points because I think like this to here is a serving. Well, if you count the mango, 2 points. One of the jars in the store is 4 points if you drink the whole thing. But it's better than coffee creamer, and I gave up coffee. I actually have. You can only take so much eye candy. Isn't that the truth? It's just too much. It's just too much eye candy there. Too much. Not for me. But he has good information. I'd rather read Dr. Axe than actually watch Dr. Axe. Yeah. And so I read Dr. Axe. But anyways, I was listening to Dr. Berg. And Dr. Berg was talking about walking and all the different things to help out. So one of the things, I did stop drinking coffee the beginning of March, and I still haven't had coffee. I've had a few mornings where I'm like, I'd really love some coffee. But I just wanted it for the emotional embrace that it gives me, not for the caffeine. I just wanted, like the feeling of drinking coffee. So I realized that was a habit thing. So I didn't want to get into that. What else? Where was I going? So I need to get back to walking. But, it's saying like if you have adrenal fatigue, the worst thing you could do is like really heavy exercise. You want to do light, moderate, walking. Walking is good. Don't run. And my husband, I told my husband, I'm like, I should probably start running. He's like, nah, you got to lose 10 more pounds. 10 more pounds. Claudia says, Chaos and Grace, I highly recommend Queen's Homeschool Language Arts. It is what we did all through high school and my baby girl ACECT. I always feared it was too easy, but I was going through the physical stuff Trisha's talking about, and easy is all I can handle. God is good. He gave us great fruit for easy curriculum. I like that. That's true. And listen, it doesn't have to be rigorous to be vigorous. As was that Ken Robinson says when he does his TED Talk about curriculum, vigor versus rigor. He says it with an English accent. He's English. He's like, isn't it? I think that's him. I think he's the one. No, that's not him. It was like a band teacher who was talking about rigor versus vigor. I'd rather have vigorous than rigorous. Anyhow, can go off on that. Lose my train of thought there. In our house, we all quit coffee. Well, and so am I going to balance? I won't. I miss who I was when I was so exhausted because I was way more careful at what I chose. Unlike now, I'm just like, we'll do it all. And I can't always, then I can't keep up with doing it all. I agree. I like simplicity. My oldest has OCD and my youngest son has SPD, and simple is necessary here. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, we're working on so much crazy stuff. I got a video. I might get it together. I might get it out. Who knows? It's me and everything going on. I can't put too big of expectations on myself. But right now, I just have my kids kind of Robinson style. I'm not telling them that, though. They're reading a lamplighter book, and then I'm making them write a paragraph. They have to copy a paragraph, and then I get on to them about their handwriting, make sure they spelled everything right. Because let me tell you, if you ain't got the inclination to spell, it doesn't mean you can copy spelling words perfect. Because you'll just kind of go, oh, I got to write that word, and you write it. Anyway, and then doing stacks of math, that's all we're doing right now because we have presentations to prepare for. I stopped coffee because of the coffee creamer. I'm a sweets addict. That's me too. It's like, my husband's like, you're like this. I'm all in the morning. I got my coffee cup. I'm like pouring this stuff in and get the sugar in there. And I just can't get enough. And in fact, I need to really do better about sugar. And I've been trying to work on that too, is like getting the sugar out. I know that I've gotten to a place that's a lot better because, well, to be honest, I don't have to drink super sweet stuff anymore. I'm all like, yep, I'm good. I'm good. That milk kefir tastes good. And then I'm, so one of the things I've been trying to work on, and I keep getting on to myself, I'm like, I need to be exercising, but now I don't feel so bad. I just need to be walking. Hey, Trish, I'm watching you while making lunch. Yeah, I love it when we have lunch together. What are you making for lunch? Pepper and pun. Chaos says, I quit creamer too. Never thought I'd be able to have a half a teaspoon of pure and a drop of peppermint oil, but good to go. I noticed that we started drinking lots more tea and water. I've been drinking a lot of kombucha because it's easy. If I make tea, I'm on it. And I've been drinking unsweet tea, no sugar, unsweet tea. So I've been kind of looking at myself, trying to deal with things. Because I actually, 4 years ago, because my exhaustion was so bad, and I got pregnant, and then I had a baby, and I was still so exhausted. I had, 10 months of really bad postpartum. I couldn't garden. I was gardening beautiful, growing beautiful things, and not gardening anymore. So I'm really trying to get that gardening. Would you believe it froze since last Tuesday and I lost a good part of my stuff? And then the kids let the chickens out and they dug up my stuff. But I had like green beans and corn this tall, gone. I have to replant them in. Too much kombucha liquid Drano. Bring it on. If y'all don't know what that means, well, just ask Green Gables. She'll text it to you. Hey, y'all, just join in. How are you? That was cookie crumb fun. So I haven't been gardening, and I'm like, I need to get back in gardening. I miss canning. I miss the fresh vegetables that I don't have to get so far. I don't have to go to the store and buy. I miss being frugal. I'm not going to lie. We have been spending money very liberally than I've done in the past. And that's hard to deal with. Well, the hard part to deal with is when my husband pays the bill. Then it's not like really hard to deal with until that moment. Then it's like, yeah, I did buy that. So like I miss the gardening. I miss eating better, eating real food. And all the chaos from my daughter's food intolerances and stuff. And we're taking a test. We went back to the doctor and talked to her about the different stuff. She's seen the progress she made. And she's like, let's test for H. pylori. I'm like, we haven't done that yet. And so we have that test out, maybe. And I mean, now I'm just like, please, Lord, let it just be H. pylori and we can take care of this, instead of this grand unknown. And things I just miss is cooking food that my entire family can eat and sticking to the basics. Because I always found cooking scratch cooking has always been my budget saver, owning a few things in large quantities that can make everything. So trying to get into that. Compass Rose is in the house. She says, I do a touch of honey in my hot tea, but haven't been able to kick sugar out of my iced tea. So you guys, for those of you that are exhausted, how long have you been exhausted? I mean, how long have you been dealing with this day in, day battle? Because I mean, I know my exhaustion. I miss the bird that likes to join you in your live chats. That rooster. Remember the rooster that would be in the videos a couple of years ago? Well, he's gone to the great rooster beyond. Not by my choice, by the raccoons. I'm making Indian food for the kids and a salad for me. Yum! H. pylori sucks. I had it for years before a DO did the test. I think she has. I think she has it. But if she has it, in 4 to 5 weeks, she will be good again. I know. I can only, Family Root says, I miss gardening, but we still have snow and it was 5 degrees this morning. Spring in Vermont. Yeah, it's supposed to be nasty storming here in a couple hours, which is not good. Mine was triggered when my daughter was born. She's 3. So you've been dealing with, for the last 3 years. Priscilla Shaw says, drink 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar multiple times a day or Mutala tea for H. pylori. I had this. Also, juice from sauerkraut, acid reflux is a sign. Yes, because she has serious acid reflux, but because she doesn't eat anything that triggers anything anymore. She just eats that poor kid, she eats chicken. But, the ulcers, I'm like, because she's always like, I feel like I'm leaking. And when I read all the stuff, I was like, yeah. She's been taking cat's claw, but then she started to get very inconsistent. Ooh, the wind's blowing. The breeze is picking up because we're fixing to have a nasty storm tonight. 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar multiple times a day. I need to have her do that. And I've got a raw sauerkraut. And then I've been pumping that kid's body full of probiotics through kefir, through kombucha, fixing to be fermented vegetables. Since I had my youngest son 2 years ago, can't snap out of the exhaustion every day. Yes. Since my second has passed, so about 7 or 8 years. Zap says, yeah, it's probably the moving process that has him stressed out. And that's the thing too, is Zap, you've all been through some stuff. Chaos and Grace says, I keep getting tornado watch alerts for North and Central Florida. Yes, that is really, yeah. If Homeschool for 2 comes on, she's in that general area. And I was thinking about her today too. Compass Rose says, real exhaustion came for me with hyperthyroidism. So roughly 8 years ago, I noticed meds were making it worse. Priscilla says, I had to do this for many, many weeks. I had a bad case. So I'm hoping with the probiotics, we're doing an initial purge. And so she's had some really sick, and then she'd get better. We're talking about H. pylori because I think it is H. pylori, but we'll find out. Yes, the meds for hypothyroidism does that. Dawn says, also my exhaustion is around my shark week, 2 weeks before. And then if I'm not in a low bipolar mood, I just have to be aware and be okay that I cannot do everything. Shark week's coming up for this one. But it's better than no shark week. Y'all know what I mean. My husband was just like, oh, shark week's coming. You're not going to be hating me. And I'm like, yep. I think we have warnings till 6 p.m. in Central Florida. Yeah, it's something. It's something. Because ours will come in around 5 tonight, which is when I'm at 4-H. That'll be great. Cool Mom of 3 is a new listener here. Hey, girl. I had a terrible exhaustion after my 3rd, but since fixed it by taking mega doses of B12 every day, changed my life. Yep. We mothers really need to take time for our own health so we can be there for our families. It's tough. We put our families first. I know we got to put the air mask, the thing mask on first. Lori, we're looking at moving. We are ready to get out. Chaos and Grace says, have you watched what Creating Essence and what she says about prebiotics? She's full of awesome info. I'm going to call her. I'm just going to call her. I'm going to be like, tell me everything you know, girl. Because I just froze my garden. Talk garden shop with her and probiotics. Priscilla says, I switched the iodine protocol by Dr. David Brownstein for my hypothyroid. I lost 15 pounds in 2 months because my thyroid finally was getting what it needed. Oh, isn't that nice? See, I don't think I have a thyroid issue, but I definitely think I have a stress issue. Lori says, yes, those winters do tend to be a bit long. Zab says, plus he has a high IQ, so he's very independent. He feels that if someone helps him, it's a signal of inferiority. He isn't. Oh, well, and that's the other part too, is like with that high IQ and that very sense of independence. I know, shifting gears here, y'all. Just hold out. Just hold out. I'm sure he wants to try to control this on his own, you know, and kind of do it by his own power. And yet he's thrusted into an area world of, you know, it's all new. It's all new. You're stateside, not Puerto Rico side anymore. So I'm sure he's like just getting his, you know, getting adapted to his new environment. Hyria says, hi, waiting to head to work, just listening in. How glad you're here. Family Roots says, Hashimoto's diagnosed 6 years ago and fibromyalgia diagnosis last year, and the exhaustion is hard. The exhaustion is hard. I mean, just like that knuckle dragging the ground exhaustion. So what have you guys done? What has helped you to get past it? I mean, either like just not doing anything and laying on the couch, or, you know, what are the things you're taking? So you're taking the B12. I will tell you, I drink a lot of kombucha. And I find myself, now I'm going to tell you, I have gotten off coffee. I've gotten off soda. I'm off soda. And sometimes I worry about the sugar amount that I'm having, because I will have typically 2 a day, but I could have 5 if I had enough, but I can't keep enough. I actually think I need to be brewing 3 times a day. Yes, it is hard to keep up with a beautiful mind child. You're awesome, Zap. I love you. She's pushing through in the name of Jesus. Amen. And it was funny. I had to pick up a friend Friday, so I got, you know, and that was like really cool. I'm going to tell you, one of my sweet friends, she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm in a situation. I have to take this vehicle up to a thing because they do the cadets, the Civil Air Patrol. I don't know what it's called. So she had to take her son in the vehicle, but when she got there, she had no way to get home. And I said, hey, I'm halfway to where you're going, because she lives, you know, she doesn't live that far, but, you know, I'm like, the distance from me, anyways, I was halfway to where she was going. I was like, I'll come get you. Why not? And I came and got her. And so I took her, we went to this really cool, I think it's a Mennonite grocery store that's in the area. And they had a new kombucha I haven't tried before. It was a brand I never had. And I was like, I'm getting a kombucha. Oh, wait, let me tell you. Tanya Meadows says exhaustion part of the fibromyalgia. I can't talk today. Is the worst. Family Root says magnesium and gotten rid of all caffeine. Giving up coffee was hard, but it's really helped. Awesome. Chaos and Grace says, when I stay consistent with my essential oils and stay on plan with THM, it helped a lot. I really need to start making kombucha. Yes, you do. Because let me tell you, Mama could not afford the kombucha drinking habit that I have. There's no way. So making the kombucha is so much cheaper. And seriously, pennies. Once you start brewing it, your about $4 jar of kombucha, literally you can make for pennies. Maria, I'm going to say it's Maria. Maria. I think it's Maria. TCK. I got a new planner called Passion Planner. No matter how tired I am, that planner keeps me motivated to drag myself to get things done. I also started doing 15 minutes of super easy workouts. I'm tired 24/7. I keep telling myself I'm going to get up and I'm going to work out. I'm going to do an exercise program. And I haven't. But I feel like once I get the laundry conquered, it will be able, like, I could do that. I think I'm just going to do the walk at home. No big deal. Twin says, being with my little one helps my energy boost. Nice. Priscilla says, liposomal vitamin C gets me off the couch. The adrenal glands are largely made of vitamin C, so naturally they need it. Need to head out and help my kids. Might be back in a few. I hope so. How did I learn to make kombucha? YouTube. All right, so I need to revive my kombucha. Any tips? I've neglected it. Your kombucha sitting in vinegar. Just put some sweet tea in that. Just put some super sweet tea. Your kombucha will be good. So I'm still getting the kombucha down. I had a friend at church. She had a SCOBY, and she's like, I can bring you, and I don't know. She drinks kombucha. I drink kombucha. She came over. I gave her a bottle of kombucha because I was buying them by the 6-pack at Sam's. And we got talking. And so she's like, hey, I got a SCOBY. You want a SCOBY? I'm like, sure. And she kind of came over and gave me these like really complicated instructions. And it was so nerve-wracking. And I started it and it just kind of flipped me out. And I brewed it and I stuck it in the fridge and I wouldn't touch it. And I'd go to the store and still buy my kombucha. And YouTube everything, right? And so I was like, okay, I need to get on it. I will tell you, Lori has been a big help to me. When she comes in here, she's helped me here and there. And I just kind of went back to watching the videos and just didn't get scared to keep trying. And I just kept trying. But essentially what you're going to do is get a SCOBY. If your SCOBY's too thick, just rip it in half. What happens is one of the problems you'll run into if the SCOBY's too thick, it won't let the air pass because it has to have air. You don't want to close it off. Never seen anyone named Maria other than my great aunt. Hi, everyone. Erica, you made it in. Amanda's made it. Awesome. So you take if your SCOBY's too thick, you can peel it apart. Just wash your hands. I really love the continuous system because it's just so much easier. Like your kombucha at the bottom of the jar is stronger than your kombucha at the top of the jar. So by using that nozzle and pouring some off, and I like it too because then I can just easily just pour a little bit off and I can taste where it's at. Oh, Tangi did a video on making the SCOBY from scratch. Y'all got to watch that then because my girl's got it going on. Most of this stuff I never heard of until you ladies shared it. I know. So I picked up my girlfriend and I took her and I was like, oh, I got to get a kombucha. I've never had this flavor kombucha before. And she's like, what's this kombucha stuff? I'm like, it's the stuff I drink. It's been really good. It's got probiotics, enzymes. It's good. And she's a hoot. I mean, she's like Florida redneck, but she's from New York and Italian. So she talks really, she has had the most hilarious transition for the 15 years, 16, 17 years she's been in Florida. But she's a super, super sweet friend. Yes, you can grow your own SCOBY. You can definitely do that. Cool, Erica. I love when I hear someone who has the same name. I do. I love it. So I took her and I was like, here's your, so she got her kombucha and I got my kombucha and I'm just like, whoo, this, and I like the ginger ones that burn your mouth. I mean, those are my favorite, like burn your mouth ginger kombuchas are like those are my go-to. And I haven't quite mastered that, so I will still buy those kombuchas, and I'm drinking the ginger ones. And so she gets it, and she's like, "This feels like I'm drinking a beer. This, or are you going to get me drunk?" I'm like, "It's 0.5%. The weakest beer you could get, you'd have to drink 4 of these suckers." Because 8 servings. You have to have 8 servings of kombucha to even come close. And then you've diluted it so badly, you're not going to get drunk. You're not getting drunk. And she's like, "But I'm feeling like really, like I'm like buzzing." She's like, "Yeah." I go, "That's vitamin B12, baby. You want a B12 buzz and stuff." So she only drank half of it, and I'm going to tell her secrets, but whatever. She won't watch me, and so she won't know. She'll watch me sometimes, but she ain't got enough attention span to stick around 51 minutes for me to talk about her. So that's how it goes. And if you did, love you, girl. Love you. Anyways, so she drank half of it. She's like, "This is good. I think I like it." She was just like, "I don't know if I like it. I think I like it." And she only drinks half of it. And so she's like, "You want the rest of it?" I'm like, "No, girl, keep your kombucha." She goes, "Well, what do I do with it?" I'm like, "Put it in your fridge, drink it the next day." So she got home, she put it in the fridge, and I talked to her because she had to do another long drive to go. She had to drive somewhere else. She was driving, 3-4 hours. And she was like, "Hey, I'm drinking the rest of my kombucha. This is good stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, you think so?" She's like, "Yeah, this is really good, but it's all good." So then today so that was Sunday. So no. Today's Tuesday, right? Picked her up. She had her first half of kombucha, 1 serving Friday. She had her next serving Saturday. Calls me up Sunday or texts me, "I cannot find this stuff. Where's this stuff at?" I'm like, or no, Monday, that was Monday. She's like, "I'm craving the kombucha. I have to have the kombucha." Let me get that in there. And she's like, "I'm craving kombucha now. What have you done to me?" And I told her like where to go find it in the grocery store. And so she's like, "I can't find it." She's looking with the milk kefir. And she's like, "I'm not doing no milk kefir." And I'm like, whatever. She's like, "I can't find the kombucha." So I'm telling her where to go. So today she sends me a picture. She found the hibiscus kombucha. She was like, "I got it. I'm getting my fix." And so she's like, "I don't know what you've done to me." But then she tells me, because she has digestive issues. And she's like, "I had the best movement." She goes, "It took 3 days from the first, it was like the first day, the second day, the third day she had it." And she's like, "This is crazy awesome." She's like, "I can't believe how good I feel." I was like, "Welcome to kombucha. I'll be your stewardess here today." So anyways, that was just amazing. And so we were talking about kefir. She goes, "I'm not going to do kefir. I'm not doing milk kefir." I was like, "Yeah, well, I was just listening to about how the fact if you can't sleep at night, it's because your enzymes are on the clock and you need to feed the milk kefir about a half hour before you go to bed." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, you gotta do milk kefir." And she's like, "Okay, I'm getting milk kefir. It's gonna mean I'm gonna go to sleep." I'm honest. I'm getting it. I'm like, "There you go. Tell me how it goes." That's my little story. Bless her heart, telling all her secrets. All right, so yes, definitely get with Lori. You can email Lori, and she will totally send you awesome directions. She sends them to me too. Myra says, "I'm scared to make kombucha or look it up because someone told me there's a living creature in it. So stupid of me to believe it, but it sounds complicated, so hubby buys it." Girl, you spending some money if you're buying it. I would love to learn if the creature thing is real. Okay, so going into SCOBY, heaven here. It is probiotics and enzymes, like the stuff you eat yogurt for, but there's just way more probiotics and enzymes. It's bacteria. The SCOBY is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. It's actually the home. It's not the thing. It's the home for the bacteria. That's where the bacteria lives and it gets happy and then it does all its stuff inside. You're drinking it for the probiotics and the enzymes. So Cookie Crumb says hers is too vinegary, so yours went too far. So definitely do a continuous system so then you can sample it. They threw something out the window and it scared me. So you have like this phase. So the first phase is it's sweet and sour. Well, one, it's sweet tea, and then it's sweet and sour. And then as it moves out of sweet and sour, it goes into perfection. And then after perfection, it turns into vinegar. So like depending on just like your bacteria, depending on just all kinds of different factors, your temperature, your sugar amount, your tea, decides when that happens and how long of time. And I've had it sometimes where like perfect kombucha was only for like half a day and then it turned to vinegar. And then I've had another time where like perfect kombucha lasted for like 3 days. So you want to like harvest then. And so you do your first ferment. You just take some kombucha and you take a little SCOBY because your SCOBY will grow. I had a SCOBY that was like this big, and by the time I was done, it was like this big. It was awesome. You take that and you put sweet tea, so a quart of tea with a 1/3 cup of sugar, you know, like you're making a quarts. That's like the ratio, you know, one family tea bag to a 1/3 cup of sugar, and that's your ratio. And you mix that with your SCOBY and your kombucha, and then it will brew. And so sometimes it takes 5 days. It all depends on the amounts you have. It's very varying, which, you know, my ADHD likes that. And when it's got to that perfect place, and let me tell you, when you are in like perfection kombucha, you don't even have to make that stuff cold. You don't have to flavor it. That stuff is good. My kids have now found out how good it is. And for some reason, the kombucha starts going down because they figured out it's good. I'm like, stop drinking the kombucha. And then what you can do, and I like to do frozen fruit. You put your frozen fruit in the bottom. You fill it up, screw it on, sit it on the counter. 12, 24, 36, 2 days, you know, whatever. And you let it second ferment. And this is where you're going to get your carbonation. This is where you're going to get your flavoring at. And then when you're done, put in the fridge. You wait too long, this sucker will explode. So you'd have to burp it. Ooh, it just did a burp. And you'll have to burp it. So if yours is vinegary, just pour it off. Keep the bottom of the kombucha there and just replenish it with sweet tea and give it some time. And in fact, you could probably do about half and just make your sweet tea a little sweeter. I've done that. And got like perfect kombucha. All right, so Kitty says, oh, hi. Oh my goodness, I wish I could stay. I have so much on my plate. Just wanted to say hi. I miss you guys. Oh, laugh out loud, girls. I think there's a SCOBY and there's a Scooby. Tracy's here. Zap says, what is kombucha for? If I wrote correctly, you wrote it right. Kombucha is really, really good for you. Cookie crumb fun. Make another batch of sugar tea. Let it cool, then add. Yeah, you got it. Sorry, so I went on a tirade. I'm drinking vitamin C because my immune system is very weak and have felt tired. So, Zap, that means you really should be drinking some kombucha. Got to get to work. I really enjoyed this live stream and your energy. Will visit again. I love you. Bye. Can you make a starter tea too sweet to grow kombucha, to grow Scooby? You still need the kombucha. If you have kombucha and you have sweet tea, you can make a SCOBY on your own. But you can't do it without some kombucha. That's where the bacteria is. You can't just put sweet tea on the counter and make it. It won't work. So what does the exact taste like? Oh, it's really good, but it's personal preference in the end. It's no longer sweet and sour, but it's not vinegar. It's just like perfect. So what just think, Trish, all the health encouragement that you were sharing, you'll change lives. Hopefully. My friend told me mine may not be fermenting good because I was using organic cane sugar instead of the white stuff. Nah, it should be fine. Was it developing the film at the top? If your SCOBY's growing, then everything's happy. My grandma was giving this drink when I was a kid and I'm 30. Crazy, now it's popular. Back then, no one knew about it. Yeah, I did a bottle of store-bought. So that's the thing. It's been around. It's nothing new. Doing the booch is nothing new. It's been around for a long time. And it has a lot of somebody's getting grumpy. Oh, because it's about time somebody's getting grumpy. It's been around. And I will tell you, it's very much been very helpful to me. I do feel like I bought the big book of kombucha. I think I shared a link on Facebook. And yes, give me a thumbs up, please. I bought the big book, and it's funny because like it was called like the champagne. So the really cool part is like it's full of vitamin B12. It's got enzymes, it's probiotics. It's supposed to be magnesium helpful. And so it'll give you kind of that kick. It's been good. Like my daughter uses it well. She drinks it when she's eating because it just, yeah, come on. It helps her digest her food. Hey, Ambia, what do you want? You want to see me, Mom? She wants to see me, Mom. You want to say hi? Yeah. Do you remember how tiny she used to be in the videos? Well, don't do that. She still cuts her own hair. So, I mean, that's why we got kind of like this whole like little thing. I should probably cut this part off so it matches. What do you guys think? So, look, this is the one side. Turn your head this way. Seeing all the chopped offness? And then here's the other side. See how long it is? Tracy says, my daughter is scared of it and will not drink it. Everybody in my house drinks kombucha except my husband. I keep trying to get my husband to drink, and he's like, no. And I'm trying to get him there because I know, don't blow bubbles, you goober. Yeah, she is getting big, isn't she? People see you. Let's see if I can get a little more. This is all the time. But we just look alike, don't we? She's totally distracting me, not helping my ADHD. What would you like to talk about today, Lily? Lily, what do you want to talk about besides looking at yourself? She's just all like, she's so enamored with herself. Look at her. She's doing her up. Okay. Anyways, so I've been working on trying to bring back the probiotics. And so I've been filling my body up with probiotics. And when I was reading the big book of kombucha, it was talking about some of the things that can happen as you actually start detoxing because you have enough probiotics in your system. And I'm kind of looking towards that. I'm hoping to detox. And I think I am because I've been like really kind of worn out as I've gotten out of everything. Do you call her Lily? I do. Her name's Leona, but we call her Lily. My 2-year-old is doing the tongue thing back to her. That's so funny. And I've been doing that. And then, you know, it has caused me to kind of like realize I need to deal with things. Be healthy, ladies. Bye, cookies and crumb. That I really need to be working on. Do you think it will work for kids like for cleansing? Yes, actually, Zap TV, you've got to do a YouTube search on cultured food life. Donna something. Lori will probably put her name up there in just a minute. You need to do that because they talked about the probiotics were so helpful with autistic children. And they just talked about how they just seen a remarkable improvements on things that they struggle with, the whole 9 yards. So you should go check that out. That is what they called my oldest daughter, Alicia. Aww. And so I've been doing the probiotics, but I feel like as I've been dealing with the probiotics and I've been doing some of the cleanses, it's reminding me about dealing with being fatigued and the fatigue I've had to deal with. I should let my kids try it. You should. My kids drink it all the time. Like I'm running into, I probably need about 2 to 3 2-gallon continuous systems to keep going. She's like making me crazy. She's gonna make me lose my brain. Yes, she's awesome. I'm binge watching her. So much info, a little overwhelming. She kind of, she's really good and her stories are so phenomenal, but sometimes I'm just a little bit along the lines of like, I've heard all the stories. I just need you to tell me it in a more concise way because I'm having, like, I'll listen to her while making dinner and have a hard time like keeping it all there. But I love her videos, and I've been listening to a lot because Lori showed me about her, and I was just like, oh, so I try to listen to her a lot. So, but by doing the probiotics and obviously having some stuff going through my system, I'm realizing like, oh, I never really dealt with this exhaustion thing. I just kind of like waited for some of it to pass, and it was like almost like this huge weight of exhaustion. In the moment, like a little bit fell off, I could like lift up and I just start running at that instead of like staying down and kind of just not trying to push myself. Every time I got a little more, I like, you know, get an inch, take a mile. I would take a mile. And I feel like I really hit me last week as the week was going that actually, you know what hit me was I was watching Justin Rhodes. What is that? The Abundant Permaculture? You know, Justin Rhodes, the Great American Farm Tour, and his wife. And so, you know, they got back from the home tour and she kind of like just like went down. They talked about her not being well and stuff. And like I would watch her and I would start crying when they got home. I mean, I could still cry because I've seen the level of exhaustion in her. And I just cried because I know what that feels like. And I know where she was coming from. And so she got on there and she really talked about the fact of being stressed and the adrenals. And I was just like, yeah. And she was talking about, you know, like just the stress came onto her, you know, like going. And her body just crashed. And I was like, that happened last year in January. Just the flood, the moving, the going back to the other house, packing up the house and throwing the house away. Then moving back to the old house, painting and redoing the entire house and just going. And we had some friends show up and like, that was really awesome. They were here for 2 months, but like after the first week, my body crashed. I like couldn't keep up. I couldn't get off the couch. I couldn't do anything. I just crashed literally for 2 months. The entire time they were here, I couldn't function. And then I realized as I'm getting through in the stress of living in this house, I'm realizing I'm feeling it. We're at 1 year in this house. We shouldn't be here much longer, but who knows? And my body is telling me, get careful. Be careful. I'm fixing to crash on you. And I was like, it's going to crash. What do I need to do so it doesn't crash? And so like really realizing preemptively of I'm fixing to have an adrenal fatigue crash. What do I need to do is really what's motivating me right now. Awesome. Thank you, Green Gables. Thank you. So yes, there she is, Culture Food Life. Awesome tools there. And so that's kind of what's got me going. You know, I feel like I'm kind of in a good place. I'm aware of it, but then I realize I'm still very fragile from the last 13 years of motherhood, that I'm not invincible. At 40, my body's not going to tolerate me being mean to it and going, what do I need to do to get there? So I will tell you one of the decisions I made yesterday, between the last 2 days, is I'm going to actually stop doing Weight Watchers. And here's my reason. Right now, and I'm going to go on two sides. I'm like, I do Weight Watchers to be healthy. I do Weight Watchers to get my waistline smaller. That's just the honest truth. It's about getting my waist. And in the result of it, I'm getting healthy. You know, on the side note, I'm getting healthy. But I won't lie. I'm fixated on my waistline when I'm doing Weight Watchers or when I'm ready to go to Weight Watchers, which is a good thing, you know, when it's too big. But at the same time, what I've had a hard time is I know I should be taking milk kefir and I know I should be having more milk kefir than I'm taking, but I won't do it because I'm worried about the points. And I don't want things that are going to heal me compete with my points. I can't have that mindset right now. And knowing that I'm fixing to fatigue out, going, I can't, you know, I'm preparing not to fatigue. I can't worry about my waistline. Now let's hope I'm choosing good nutritional meals and food that I'm not going to be counterproductive. But if my waistline gets a little bit bigger, but I save myself and keep a fatigue crash off, I'm good. You know what I mean? It's totally worth it. Because I'll tell you, from when that fatigue happened to me, that just out and out exhaustion fatigue happened to me in January, doing my videos has never recovered. Ooh, you can't. Can you hear the wind? You can't hear the wind. Probably not. It's picking up because we're fixing to be feeling it. So knowing that, I want to keep it off. So I'm actually going to cancel my Weight Watchers subscription and just put it on hold, put it on a timeout. I do want to get back to it. I really want to get and be strong and be athletic and take care of myself so I have a long, good, just the wind chimes, but so that I have a really long and wonderful life, that I'm not exhausted. And the last thing I want to do is be so concerned in eating low point food that I'm actually not nutritionally recharging myself. Because I've talked to the doctor about my chiropractor. I'm like, sometimes I worry, is my anxiety really an issue with the lack of good nutrition, the lack of micronutrients? Am I micronutrient zapped in many ways, But as I'm reading the microdome, I'm like, this is all the microdome. This is the microdome. I'm not taking care of the microdome, and the fact that the second brain is the gut, which makes sense because like gut instinct and the whole 9 yards. And it has to do with your microbiology, not your microbes in your gut. So those are kind of the journeys that I'm working through. I know I will, I don't know. I feel more awake after talking to you, but yes, there's a fundamental home. Hey girl, I miss you. But just dealing with that part of being that exhausted, I'm just like, okay, what do we do? And I'm going to tell you, it's like some of the things I'm going to actually like kind of pull back and not be so involved with stuff outside my home, just so that I'm not exhausting myself. Exhausting myself is only, finding ways to get rid of stress. When I was listening to Dr. Berg, he made the comment that, your adrenal glands will just hold the stress. You have to get the stress out. And just the requirements of eating a lot of potassium, not phosphorus, potassium. And even though we all think about bananas as potassium, salads are so much better. And just eating really big, healthy salads and just pouring the good stuff into ourselves and making the kombucha and not being worried about my kombucha points. But I will tell you, if those that are needing to lose weight, I still believe that Weight Watchers is a great way to do it. I'm a firm lover and believer of Weight Watchers. Fundamental Home says, miss you too, had to switch to my other account. Oh, sorry. I hope I wasn't like causing problems. I had to learn to pace myself, and that's a hard one. Like I get a lot of like, you're being hard on yourself. Your expectations are too big. My problem is my expectations are in line with my healthy self. It's hailing in South Pinellas County. No, that's like an hour north of me. Hopefully it's not going to hail here because we're like at the bottom of it. The key word for me in Trim Healthy Mama is healthy. You have learned lots about yourself. You can focus on the emails to give. I was talking to my friend about this today. My problem is I can really overdo the protein. And so I really need to focus on not as much protein, because I will naturally do that just fine on my own, and really work on, I need to work on vegetables. Just eating a pile of vegetables is probably one of the biggest things that I could do for myself, because I always feel the best that way. Absolutely feel the best. Even though emails, like doing emails without thinking them as emails, because if I get caught in that cookbook, I'm gonna be a hot mess. And that's where I like Darcy Isabella's whole approach on foods and just like single ingredient cooking. And I'm like, yep, that's what I'm into. So anyways, I'm going to leave, but definitely I'm so glad to have had this time with you. And I have to tell you, like, one of the things for me is I can walk in here just like exhausted, and at the end of every time being with you guys, I am just always kind of just better, just absolutely better. So I will talk to you guys later. I'm going to cover us in prayer. But leave me comments afterwards. Anything you want to talk about next week, like besides the fact of what will randomly pop in my head. I hope I did better. I'm going to try and start posting them earlier to, so you guys can bookmark when I'm coming in. But one of my goals is to definitely be better about sticking to Mama Chat now, after we're getting through the part. You're correct. You need lots of vegetables, lots and lots. Oh, I'm sorry you're late too. I'm trying to cut the bread and try to do more keto. Well, and that's my thing is like, like, I want to go back to milling my bread, kind of like what Aaron said. I miss milling and just really having the time to in the space to really be better utilizing and not have as much, but just have what we need. And that's what I'm really focusing on. Our Mary says, thank you for the talk, Trish. Oh, you're welcome. Tanya says, love Darcy. Twins say, I'm glad I finally get to catch you live. I'm so glad you made it. I'm absolutely glad you made it. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the time that you give us and just this virtual friendship and sense of community that we get to have together and we get to come together at one time to be part of. Lord, it definitely echoed. Our bodies are tired, and you gave us the promise, the yoke is light. Lord, let us be walking with you, and let us be walking in the path and the methods that you want. Let us be nourishing our bodies, just making this vessel strong, Lord. And when we are eating things, Lord, it can kind of go one of three ways. Are we nourishing it? Are we worried about it, getting it to look good? Or are we just killing it? Lord, and just give us the ability not just to not be sick and not to be just not sick, but just to be well, to be good, to be strong and capable so that we can be active and involved in life, in service that you've given us to do, Lord, and give us the confidence and the ability to handle when we need to close, when we just kind of need to close things off and not do as much. Lord, give us that comfort. Lord, give us the strength for the things that we're to work around and the knowledge to know when to work around it versus when to work through it. Lord, and I know that's something that sits on me heavy because I like to work right through it, Lord, and many times you've called me to work around it. And it's really hard to just adjust to that expectation that I want to do it based on my energy and I want to do it based on what I want, Lord, and just help me be more connected and be a better listener to what you want from me and with your energy and your will. Lord, be with each and every one of these women for the unspoken prayers that they have, Lord, and the concerns that they're suffering through, Lord, and give them strength and wisdom. In your son's precious name I pray. Amen. All right. So I will see you next week. Maybe I'll have some more energy. Maybe I'll have some more insight. Maybe I'll tell you how I want to scream and shout because my kids have not done their project yet. That's due next week. We'll see. But until then, see you later. Maybe